Hello and welcome to UCL Breakdown. I'm your host, Alex, and we are live in the studio looking ahead at what might just be the most psychologically charged tie of this entire knockout round. The Estadio da Luz in Lisbon hosts the first leg of this Champions League playoff between Benfica and Real Madrid. And to say there is history here would be a massive understatement. Glenn, when we talk about a game having a previous, it doesn't get much more dramatic than what happened here 3 weeks ago, does it? Alex, it's rare that you get a fixture that flips the script so completely. We came into that league phase finale expecting Real Madrid to cruise. Instead, we got an absolute classic. Segment, Benfica versus Real Madrid. A goalkeeper scoring a header to knock Real Madrid out of the top 8. That isn't just a result, that's a statement. And now, because of that result, these two giants have to do it all over again in a two-leg tie. And that leads us perfectly into the headline for today's show. Jose Mourinho has described this Real Madrid side as a wounded king. And he warned everyone, a wounded king is dangerous. Glenn, forget club versus club for a second. The technical area tells the real story here. On one side, you have Jose Mourinho. Right, Mourinho's tactical mind is a game changer, especially in a UCL semi. Exactly, his experience is key. On the other, Alvaro Arbeloa. And 3 weeks ago, we saw that embrace at full time. Mourinho apologizing for his celebration, Arbeloa telling him not to worry. This is a fascinating dynamic. Alvaro Arbeloa was one of Mourinho's soldiers at Real Madrid between 2010 and 2013. He was the epitome of the defensive discipline Mourinho demands. But look at the difference in circumstances since that last game. For Arbeloa, that 4-2 defeat dropped his team from 3rd to 9th, costing them automatic qualification. There is no way, psychologically, that defeat hasn't been used as fuel in the Madrid dressing room this week. Arbeloa was very clear in his press conference yesterday. He said, and I quote, "It's not about revenge. Our objective is winning the Champions League." But he also admitted he knows exactly what Mourinho is capable of, saying he wouldn't be surprised by anything. And that's the key phrase. I know what he is capable of. Because tactically, these two are cut from a very similar cloth. Look at this. Both prefer a structured defense. Both rely heavily on their star strikers. For Madrid, it's Mbappe with 34 goals. For Benfica, it's Pavlidis with 26. The difference is in the midfield setup. Arbeloa has settled on a pure 4-3-3 with Tchouaméni as the single pivot. Mourinho, however, has favored a double pivot. Richard Rios and Enzo Barrenechea to screen that defense. The question tomorrow is, does the student try to outdo the master at his own game, or does he adapt? So, the game plan is clear in theory, but theory goes out the window when you look at the team sheet. Let's move on to the major talking point of this tie, the availability of the players. Glenn, we have a significant injury crisis affecting this game, particularly for the visitors. Let's put the team news up on the screen. According to our injury reports, Real Madrid will be without Antonio Rudiger, Ferland Mendy, and for Benfica, meanwhile, are missing key creator Dodi Lukebakio and midfielder Richard Rios. Our guest, Glenn, on the Benfica-Madrid clash. Think about it. Arbeloa's system relies on defensive solidity first. Now he's likely forced to play a makeshift defense. What about the psychological state of the goalkeepers? Obviously, Trubin is the hero of the hour. He's the guy who scored the winner. How does he approach this game now that he knows he's facing the same attack? Mourinho joked about it, saying Trubin won't be in the attack this time. But honestly, that goal changes the dynamic for the keeper. It gives him immense confidence. He's already beaten this Madrid team. Let's bring up the comparison graphics. We're looking at the Champions League averages for these two sides. Goals, Real Madrid averages 1.8 goals per game. Benfica sits at 1.1. Shots, Real Madrid averages 13.6 shots per game. Benfica averages 9.5. Possession, Real Madrid dominates the ball with 63% average. Benfica is slightly over 50%. Glenn, the numbers suggest a clear favorite. Madrid creates more, scores more, and keeps the ball. But we know football isn't played on spreadsheets. Where is Benfica's edge? The edge is in two specific areas, aggression and verticality. Data from earlier in the season showed that Benfica actually outperforms Madrid in aggressive actions. That is, tackles attempted immediately after losing the ball. Glenn, what do you make of Madrid's chances? And Madrid knows they have a point to prove. Their form has been a bit Jekyll and Hyde in recent games, but they are top of La Liga. They have the quality to turn it on at any moment. Let's not forget, in that last game, Madrid finished with 9 men. Asensio and Rodrigo were sent off. Discipline will be paramount. The referee is Francois Letexier. He'll have his hands full. All right, Glenn, we're heading into the final minutes of the first leg in Lisbon. Scoreline prediction? And what tactical adjustment are you looking for from both managers? For Mourinho, the adjustment is game management. He admitted that in the last game, he made a substitution thinking they were through, only to realize they needed another goal. He won't make that mistake again. For Arbeloa, the adjustment is defensive concentration. He cannot afford a repeat of the chaos of the 98th minute. He needs his midfield to shield that makeshift back four. I think he'll instruct his team to control the tempo. Score prediction? I think Madrid is too strong to lose this one twice in a row. But Benfica at home, with that crowd and that memory, they're dangerous. I see a draw. Absolutely. We cannot wait for this one. That's all the time we have for UCL Breakdown today. A huge thank you to our analyst, Glenn, for breaking down. Always a pleasure, Alex. Goodbye and enjoy the game. Keep watching Full in Sport.